Hi, and welcome to Hal Leonard's virtual NAM booth for Believe in Music Week. I'm Jeff Stradel, Executive Vice President of Hal Leonard. We have uke master Jake Shimabukuro all ready to present a session live from Hawaii. I can't say enough about Jake. He's a virtuoso on the instrument, a fantastic teacher, a great guy, and we're honored to publish several books with him, including a brand new book video for young beginners. Can't wait to see what he has in store for us today, so let's turn it over to Jake. Aloha, my friend.
Right on. Thank you so much. Thanks for that intro, Jeff. Really appreciate it, man. It's an honor working with all of you at Hal Leonard. I just want to welcome all of you. Welcome to NAM 2021. Believe in music is the theme, for this virtual platform here. I'm just honored and thrilled, to be here at the Hal Leonard virtual booth. So thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to play a song and then we'll get right into it. But, just a quick background, my name is Jake Shimabukuro. I was born and raised in Honolulu, Hawaii. Started playing the ukulele when I was 4 years old because my mom introduced me to the instrument. And just super stoked. So, all right, here we go. Hey, thanks. That was a song called Let's Dance, and it was inspired by one of my favorite guitar players, the great Carlos Montoya. When I was a kid, I had an old cassette tape that I used to listen to over and over and over. But back then we didn't have things like YouTube, so I could never see what he was doing. I heard percussion stuff. I would hear someone strumming the guitar. I would hear someone playing some insane lead lines. So I always thought Carlos Montoya, was a three-piece band. I had no idea it was just one guy on the guitar. So and there were no instructional books back then too, on his stuff. So not like today. There's so much great products out there, especially, that's why I'm so excited to be here at Hal Leonard, because working with them over the years, providing more content, more material, for the ukulele, helping to contribute to some of that, because there's already so much great stuff out there. So just really excited to introduce, this new book, Ukulele for the Young Beginner, or for young beginners. And hopefully, if you've never played, oh, there's a little graphic of it there. That's not it's awesome. My we took that photo during lockdown, so I couldn't really go out and take a photo like in a studio or something. So that's actually my I went over to my mom's house. That's her tree in the backyard, and my two children were too shy to be they did not want to be in the picture. So my nephew, that's actually my nephew who's in there in the shot holding the ukulele there. So yeah, but anyways, it's a fun project, and of course working with Hal Leonard, I just learned so much, from working with them. They're just so meticulous, so detail oriented. The quality of their stuff is always top notch. So I'm super excited. Speaking of Hal Leonard, and if you have any questions at all during any time, please put them in the chat, because I think this is I think this is, if not the only, it's one of the very few live sessions that we're doing at NAM. So let's take advantage of that. If you have questions or anything, put it in the chat, and we'll be happy to talk about that. But I'd like to bring Amy Thompson, to the platform. I'd like to bring her up on screen. She's with Hal Leonard. Hey, Amy, how's it going?
Hey, Jake. What's your temperature like there in Hawaii? I'm just curious.
Oh, yeah, it's like oh, I'm sorry to say, it's probably like high 70s maybe.
Oh, high
It's a
70. I'm
beautiful
in
day today. It's
Milwaukee.
really beautiful.
Yeah, I'm in Milwaukee, and it is not that temperature here right now. So I hope that you're enjoying that weather. Hi, everybody. I'm Amy from Hal Leonard, and I just wanted to jump on and help Jake answer some questions here you've been putting in the chat. First question is from Richard. Jake,
Hey,
what
Richard.
words of wisdom can you give to beginning ukulele learners?
Oh man, I don't know if I have words of wisdom, but the most, to me, I think the most important thing is just to enjoy it. Like find if you don't have an ukulele, go to a store that sells a lot of different ukes, and try them all. See which one speaks to you, which one feels comfortable, and once you have something that you feel that really you connect with, you're gonna want to pick it up all the time. And that's how I was with my first ukulele, which was my mom's ukulele. It was a standard size Kamaka ukulele. I still play Kamaka today, but I remember when I first picked it up and I played my first chord on it, I just fell in love with it. And that's what made me want to play it all the time. I just wanted to pick it up, wanted to play it. Even when I was watching television, I would have it in my lap, and just being with it, spending time with the instrument as much as you can. I think that's the best thing that you can do when you're starting out. Thanks, Richard.
Very cool. And this next one is from Robin. What is your top tip for moving from an intermediate level to advanced?
There's really no it's not like in martial arts, like in karate, right? You go from this belt to the next belt to this belt to the next belt, and then and then you're trying to achieve the black belt. Like that's the thing with playing an instrument, playing in music. There's really no moment where you feel like you pass over from intermediate to advanced. It's like, oh, yesterday I was an intermediate player, but today I'm an advanced player. There's nothing like that. But that's the cool thing about it. It's just this continuous journey. It's just this continuous journey, because someone who knows just 3 or 4 chords on the ukulele can be considered an advanced player, depending on how they use those 4 chords and how they play it. The kind of the conviction and the intent, that they play with, the feel, the emotion, right? So I would say, there's really no I don't know. It's hard for me to categorize. I mean, like when I think of myself, I have that, that martial arts philosophy where you go from white belt and you strive to get your black belt, right? But then that's just half the journey, right? Because once you get your black belt, then the idea is you continue to practice and to push and to push and to push until the black on the belt fades back and it becomes white again, right? So that's the idea, right? So even for me, playing the ukulele, like that's, for me, it's just going to be this continuous journey that until I die, I'm just going to keep, see how much I can do, not how much I can do, but just like to keep searching, that curiosity to keep learning, to keep growing, to hear new things. So yeah, so that's what I would say. Just don't think of it as like these different levels, but just step back and look at the big picture and enjoy what you're doing. And I think that's one of the things with these ukulele books, because ukulele is getting so popular now, right? I mean, right, Amy, at the NAM show, I mean, if, like 15 years ago, there'd be like a couple booths, for ukulele. But if you go there now, like that whole bottom floor is like all ukuleles, like everywhere. And there's just so many different makers and so many, and just such an enthusiasm for the instrument. So I think that this is a great time. If you've never played the ukulele before, never played an instrument before, I think the ukulele is the perfect instrument to start with. And and even this ukulele for young beginners book, it's just a nice simple tutorial that just basically opens the door for you, helps you to get your foot in the door so that you can start playing. And then from there, once you're playing chords and you feel like you're making music, you're like, oh, wow, I can do this, so it's great. Yeah. Sorry, that was a long answer. I promised Amy I was going to try to keep these short because we don't have much time. So I'll try to be more
Totally
on
fine.
point.
I think we could all probably listen to you talk all day, Jake. So no problem at all. Our next question is from Diane. Why the ukulele, and was this your first instrument?
Yeah, well, I grew up in Hawaii. I was born and raised in Honolulu on the island of Oahu. And growing up in Hawaii, it's such a big part of the culture. So you see it on TV. I mean, you go to the mall and people are playing it at the mall. You hear it on the radio all the time. So I kind of grew up with it. And so for me, it was kind of a natural thing to play. Everyone in my family knew a few chords on the ukulele. My mom played, right? So um, yeah, and I think what I love about the ukulele is that it's so simple to get started, to play right away. You get that immediate gratification because you don't have to, like, if you're playing like the oboe, right? It takes you months and months before you can even get a sound and even, play one note that sounds decent, right? So, but with the ukulele, what I like to tell people is it's one of the few stringed instruments where you can play full chords with just one finger. So if you put your index finger on the bottom left-hand corner of the ukulele, that's your C7 chord. And then you just move it up a string, that's your F, or your F add 2 or F add 9, whatever you want to call it. And you can just go back and forth with those two chords. You can play tons of songs, like love, love me do, I love you. You can play jambalaya, crawfish pie, da da dun dun. I don't know the words, but tonight, da 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 da, share a meal, right? And it's just those two chords. And for kids too, the songs like the incy wincy spider went up the water spout, down came the rain and washed the spider out, right? So it's just this simple motion, just going back and forth. And that's why I think for people who are intimidated to play an instrument or to start out with music, because you know, a lot of people, you hear this all the time. Oh, I can't play an instrument. I don't have any musical talent. There's no musical talent in my family, right? But no, that's totally not it. You know, with the ukulele, you don't have to be afraid. It's just fun, you know. And I tell people, you know, if you can just, if you have just one finger on your left hand and you have a thumb on your right hand, you know, or the other way around, you can play simple chords like that, and it's fun. It doesn't hurt your fingers because of the nylon strings. So I don't know. So I just think, yeah, I think why not? You know, if you've never tried it, you know, give it a shot. So yeah.
Great. Next one is from Lisa. What are your favorite strings?
So the strings that I've been using now for I think for the last 20 years, 20 plus years, are the Dario strings. And what I used to do before, you know, they make a set now, but it's their Pro Art series. So when I was a kid, I would have to buy 2 sets of guitar strings to make one ukulele string. So I would buy the Dario, the Pro Art classical hard tension, and a set of the extra hard tension. So I was, you know, luckily I worked at a music store when I was a kid. So I would get, you know, these nice discounts for my strings. But what I would do is I would take the first, second, and third string of the normal tension, and that would be my first, second, you know, my my A, E, and C, my first, second, and third string. But then on the extra hard tension, I would take that first string, I would take the first string from the extra hard tension and use that for my high fourth string or my high G. So it was just slightly thicker than the first string from the hard tension, right? And that's what gave me my set. And you know, and later on, I was very fortunate to have a relationship with, you know, the Dario family, and now they make these, you know, they make ukulele strings, so I don't have to buy 2 guitar sets anymore. You know, I can just buy one ukulele set. But they have a variety of them, and I just tell people, you know, it's really what sounds good to your ear, what feels good for your fingers, and what's comfortable for you. So yeah.
Oh, I had no idea it was used to be that difficult to build a string. You had to buy multiple. That's insane.
Well, they had other, you know, other ukulele string manufacturers that made specific sets for the ukulele, but I learned that they were all using the same, you know, I mean, basically the same nylon, right? So, well, I shouldn't say same nylon, um, but they were, you know, very similar. So I found that with the classical guitar sets, I found there was a little bit more consistency. Of course, you paid a lot more money, but you know, they were more consistent. And then later on, someone also mentioned to me too that because they're cut longer, the strings are cut longer from the beginning because they're for guitar. That actually plays a big role in the quality of the tone of the string. So, you know, I don't I'm not a I'm not a physicist, so I don't know if that's true, but I know that when I hear it, I like what I hear. So
Yeah, great. Well, I mean, we have a few more questions, or you can play something else for us, whatever you'd like to do, Jake.
yeah, well, why don't I play something, and then we'll go to more questions then. Yeah. So this is I love experimenting with, you know, different pedals and things like that. And since this is the NAMM show, right? I mean, this is I thought I'd just show this to you real quick. So this is my pedal board for my ukulele here, and so I'm gonna use it, and you can so you can experiment. You know, I'm gonna use my looper on this, and then I also have a little overdrive setting, so I can do, you know, this. Getting some feedback. All right, so I'm gonna play a song here. I'm gonna turn it super loud. Sorry, that was really loud. That's better. Okay, so this is a song called Dragon. and it was inspired by one of my heroes, the great Bruce Lee, and inspired by his movie Enter the Dragon. So here we go. I'm going to do a short version of it so we can get back to more questions here. Thank you very much. Song called Dragon there. So that was, using the looper, using some long delays, some short delays, reverb, the overdrive pedal, and a little amp simulator. So, so it's just, I think especially during the pandemic, the lockdown, I think I've been spending so much time just by myself and playing, and I really miss the collaboration, playing with other people, that the looper and I kind of became really close, because I can do things like play a little phrase, you know. I could come up with something like that, and I could play it back, and and just experiment, and then I feel like I have something to play off of, right? And some of the exercises like that we have in some of the books that I've done with Hal Leonard in the past, you could have one ukulele strumming something, and then you could have another ukulele playing the melody, right? So if you had a looper like this, you could actually strum the chords, right? And then you could record that, play it back, and then you could play the melody. I don't know what song I'm playing there, but I was just improvising over that. But but you could take any song, like a recognizable song. I can't play any covers right now because I'm not sure if I have the licensing or the rights to do that. So, but you can take a cover song like a Beatles tune. You can strum the chords, and then you can play the melody over, and that's always fun, to do. It makes it more interesting than just playing by yourself. So, or you can just get one of someone in your household to learn it with you, and then you guys can play duets together, right? So yeah, well, let's bring Amy, are you still there? Can you come back and let's hit some more questions?
I'm still here. I'm still here.
Yeah.
I think we have a few. I think we have time for a few more questions here with you, Jake.
Okay. God, this went by so
Very well.
fast. I can't believe it. Okay, I feel like we're just getting started. All right.
Carrie wants to know, who are some of your current musical inspirations?
Oh man, I mean, gosh, there's so many people like currently, I mean, people like Chris Thiele, Bela Fleck, Jacob Collier, who else? Julian Lage. Oh my goodness, there's too many to name. But I think what's interesting is if I let you know like some of my early influences, like for example, people always get surprised when I say this because, well, a lot of my influences came from non-musicians, like athletes and things like that. But just sticking to musicians, like Vicky Carr was a huge inspiration for me. She was one of my favorite singers. And I remember watching her as a kid sing, one of her famous songs, With Pen in Hand, which is a song about divorce. And, and there she is, she's singing, and she's like, she's bawling on stage, just crying her eyes out, trying to sing this song. And I remember getting emotional too, and tearing up. And that was the first time in my life that I realized how powerful music can be, like the kind of emotion that it can bring out of you. And so, she was a huge inspiration. So for me, even though I don't sing and I play the ukulele, I really I think about Vicky Carr, and I think like, how can I channel some of that emotion, like when I'm playing, like I want to, I want to make myself cry, sometimes like when you're playing, right? Because you just want to bring out as much emotion as possible. So yeah, so definitely thank you for that.
Yeah, of course. So I think we'll just do one more question. Do you recommend any specific manufacturer for a first ukulele? And that's from Fred.
Oh, I mean, there's, of course, for me, it's always going to be Kamaka. I mean, Kamaka ukuleles have been, I mean, ever since I was a kid, it was my dream, to play a Kamaka tenor, which is what I play now. This was like the Excalibur of ukuleles, if you grow up in Hawaii, because they were the first family in Hawaii to really start, producing ukuleles. And I mean, I believe they're truly the inventors of the modern day ukulele, so but yeah, so Kamaka, I mean, but there's so many instruments out there, so I don't want to, I don't want to say anything, I mean, I just think, you got to try them, and what feels good for you, what you feel like you can express, your emotions, yourself through the instrument. I think that's the main thing, play with passion when you pick up the instrument, like do it with passion. I mean, I think that's key. That's the most important thing. And sorry, Amy, I know this is going long, but one of the things that I want to say, because I know that, the ukulele, it is for, it's a book for young beginners, geared toward kids, but it can be anyone, because the ukulele to me like brings out the child in us, it brings out the kid in. Like when I pick it up and start playing, I feel like a kid again, and there's something about the instrument that does that. So with that said, I just want to encourage, if there's any kids that are watching this right now, I just want to say to you, find your passion, with music. Even if you don't have the desire to be a professional musician or anything, there's something about it. Like even if you just play at home or you just do it privately, there's something so soothing and therapeutic about it. But use that, as fuel to find your passion, find something that you love. Maybe it's, you want to be a teacher one day, so your passion is education, or you have a passion for medicine and you want to be a doctor, whatever it is that you want to be, study, practice, and the last thing I want to say is, be drug free. I've been drug free my whole life, and so you don't need drugs. And but and just yeah, keep supporting music, keep supporting the arts, because that's what keeps our world spinning, and keeps us smiling, so, and thinking too. So yeah. But I think Amy was saying, we got to wrap it up. So we have I think we have a strict hard cutoff. So I just want to send a big shout out again to Jeff Schradel, the whole Hal Leonard crew. Big shout out to Amy Thompson. Thank you for hosting this, and also to Jake from Paradigm Production, who's working behind the scenes making this all work. So thank you to all of you. You take care. Happy New Year. Aloha. I'm Jake Shimabukuro, and hope to see you again real soon. So thank you.